How to wholesale real estate virtually. Well, let me tell you the truth. Wholesaling virtually is no more than just wholesaling. Virtual wholesaling is no more than just wholesaling. There's no difference. It's wholesaling. The only difference is one is done on a computer and the other one is done in person, but at the same time, you're just wholesaling a deal, guys. So don't think too much about it, okay? I have a lot of people come to me and they're like, how do you do this virtual wholesale thing? And they've been wholesaling. I'm like, you're already doing it, dude. You're already doing it. The only difference is maybe they're signing via DocuSign, or maybe you're sending someone out to see the property and you're not the one seeing it, right? So let's break that down real fast. What appears to be as virtual wholesaling is more of getting contracts signed online via DocuSign or Dropbox sign or whatever you use. It's not seeing the property. It's not meeting the client. It's sending someone else to the property to go walk it. Virtually meaning you're doing it virtual, right? And then you have wholesaling. And wholesaling is where you're pretty much doing the same thing, right? But you may be meeting the person in person. You may be meeting with them to get the contract signed in person. You may be walking the property yourself. At the end of the day, virtual is just a fancy word that someone threw on top of wholesaling to sell you a fancy course that you really don't need because you just need to learn how to wholesale and it will solve everything. So I'm going to solve that problem for you. First and foremost, what we need to do is we need to understand what is wholesaling. Wholesaling, first and foremost, is not illegal as long as you have the right proper documentation and you explain what you are doing in full honesty to the seller. And at the end of the day, the seller makes the decision, not you. And you'll be surprised how many people rather go convenience versus listing their home for sale and having their neighbors or their family or all these people walk through it that they don't want them walking through their home, right? So a lot of people choose convenience. And a lot of people like to list their home, and that's okay too, because we still give them that option. But for the most part, most people that we speak to have to sell their home, and they understand that their home is in somewhat of a de-stressed state. Now, I have to tell you guys, it's somewhat hard to wholesale a house that is fully remodeled. A house that is fully remodeled, that was recently built like 10 years ago, right? That still has a beautiful kitchen and a beautiful bathroom. The likelihood of that person selling that home at a discount is very, very, very slim. So what you have to do is you have to go after the people that have to sell a home. More distressed properties. Properties with the high grass, the broken windows, the tweaker blinds. You guys, you know the tweaker blinds, right? You know there's a tweaker in there, right? The blue tarps over the roof, right? Or you'll notice boarded up, abandoned, right? See, those are the houses you want to go after. The houses that need work, because those people may not have the money to put into the home. They may be losing money owning the home, and it is much more convenient for you to give them a cash offer. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to a distressed property and you're going to meet with them and you're going to ask them, have you thought about selling? Or you're going to call them or text them, however you get a hold of them. And you're going to say, have you thought about selling, or would you be open to an all cash offer? You're going to figure out their needs. You're going to figure out their wants. You're going to figure out, why are they moving? How fast do they need to move? What price are they thinking about? What is the motivation? What is the reason why they're doing this, and how soon does it need to get done? If we can discover those things, then we can figure out what is the best offer for this person. Now, let me give you a skill that will really help make you a lot of money. When you are speaking to these people, do not give them, when you're speaking to the sellers, do not give them an offer first. If you give an offer first, you will lose most of the time. You want them to give you an offer. So throw scenarios at them. Like, hey, Logan, if I was to bring a dumpster full of cash and I was to back it up in your front yard, hit the freaking button, all the cash flew out of the dumpster, how much cash needs to be in that dumpster for you to sell this house? Walk away with it, no commissions, no escrow fees, no closing costs, I'll take care of everything, no agents involved. How much money needs to be in that dumpster? Paint a scenario for them. If I walked up with the briefcase full of cash, I dropped it next to you and all you had to do was sign the property over, how much money needs to be in that briefcase? Get them to tell you a price. Even if they're like, I don't know, somewhere between like 200 to 250, now you have an idea of what they're at least thinking about. And you know, if the home is worth 250 and they're saying 250 and the house needs a ton of work, you know that that client's more than likely not going to sell their home at a price that you want unless you're able to get them to understand otherwise. right? So it's really important that we ask for the price first, because when we get a price first, then we can figure out, it's more of an anchor. We can figure out what we need to do. Okay, is this a low enough price that makes sense, or do we need to help them understand why we need to get the price lower? Because of the repairs that are involved, because of what the home is worth fixed up. Right? So if you go to a homeowner and you ask them that, and you know that the home is messed up, and you know that the house is worth $300, and they want to sell it, and they're open to an offer at $200, that means that you're acquiring it at $200, and it's worth $300. So you're acquiring it at $200, and the ARV, the after repaired value, is $300. This means after you fix up this house, it's worth $300,000. Okay? That's $100,000 between what you have it acquired for to what it is worth. Now, once you have the seller sign at $200, you can take that to an investor, take that to a private buyer, and say, hey, I have this amazing deal. I have it under contract at $200. It's worth $300. Pay me $20. I'll sell it to you at $220, and you go and now you sell the house to an investor with a $20,000 fee attached to it. You've made $20,000 from acquiring the deal and assigning it to the next investor. You are not closing on the deal. Your money is not involved. You are assigning a contract. You are not selling a property. This is very important. You are assigning a contract to the investor or to the next buyer. That next buyer is responsible for the original contract that you got in place. This makes sense? Okay, awesome. It's really important and we understand that. So you get it under contract, you go to investor A, you sell it for $220, you make $20,000, and you repeat the process over and over again. The kicker here is you have to go to the right people. If you are prospecting let's call it in an estate neighborhood where the houses are 4,000 square feet, they're all fixed up, they were built 5 years ago, you're probably not going to find a wholesale deal. I'm not going to say it's impossible, right? It may be 1 out of 100,000, 1 out of a million, right? But the likelihood is much lower. So go to more of I'll give you a trick. Go into your market, pull the median sales price, right? Let's just say you go to Arizona. Let's take Phoenix, Arizona for an example, right? And you take the median sales price of, I don't know, call it $400,000, right? You take a median sales price of $400,000, go right underneath that. So go after properties that are 200, 250, 300, 350, and 400. If you're in Southern California, like San Bernardino, right? We're in San Bernardino County. That's where a lot of our flips are at. The average sales price is about $450, $475. It's climbed up. It's actually creeped down a little bit recently. So what we do is we go after properties between $250,000 to $400,000. $400,000 being the ARV. We want to buy houses between $250,000 to $350,000 because we know that market moves. The median sales price in your market will determine where you need to prospect. And then here's the kicker. Do not prospect anything above the median sales price. These are listings. So if you're a listing agent, go after these. But if you're looking for wholesale deals, go after these. You guys, if you want the script, reach out to me. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you learned a lot. If you have any questions, reach out. This is Wholesaling 101 in a nutshell. I'm your host, Adrian Hernandez. Thank you for tuning in today, guys. Hit that subscribe button. Let your friends and family know about the episode. We'll see you real soon. Let's go.